Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we're going to be talking about some headlines surrounding Netmarble and Kabam, the companies that are responsible for the initial releases of both Marvel Future Fight and Marvel Contest of Champions, and essentially why this merger is more of a clerical thing and actually won't impact or shouldn't impact the gameplay nearly as much as some people might have thought, but can still give us some insight into how things are going over there, and also, you know, allow players to get a handle on why the recent confusion with updates and maybe the quality of updates lately, or the lackluster updates lately, really doesn't have too much to do with this, but could have impact in the future. So we're gonna go ahead and check out these headlines here from Pocket Gamer. Netmarble US Studio to join Kabam in merger. Now, when they say merger here, it's a little confusing because we see merger thrown a lot in gaming when you have acquisitions, right? Microsoft is going to merge with Activision Blizzard because they're going to absorb them, or actually a better example would be Activision Blizzard. There was just Activision and just Blizzard, and then they merged into one company. This is not really the case. The merger this is more of an internal merger because Netmarble is one of the largest mobile gaming companies in the world. They have a US studio, although like their main HQ, obviously Netmarble is a Korean company, their main HQ is in Korea. So their US studio is merging with Kabam's studio that I believe is in Vancouver, although they also have some people working out of, like, I think Texas or something like that for user acquisition. But Netmarble bought Kabam back in 2017. So if we flash back to that here, we see Netmarble closes acquisition of Kabam Vancouver and Marvel Contest of Champions. Will run Kabam as a wholly owned subsidiary. So I'm not going to pretend to know the ins and outs of these types of things. I barely know how to say subsidiary. But essentially, if you go back and look from November 2017 or February 2017 here until now, yeah, sure, Marvel Contest of Champions made some changes. Maybe they had some new additions that were a bit surprising. They added like a Stark Stash type deal for credits, which is their premium currency. But by and large, right, the development of Contest of Champions didn't really change from then until now. So although there was a worry 5 years ago now, wow, that's crazy. 5 years ago, I made a video like, guys, Netmarble's buying Kabam. This is crazy. Yeah, not a lot has changed, right? So Netmarble wasn't acquiring Kabam in order to flip the company upside down and paint it all these crazy colors and run the company in a different way. They were just amassing more, good studios that could put out top quality games. And we know that Contest of Champions is a top quality game because it's consistently, on the highest list of downloads, new install, downloads, new install, same thing, but revenue. So obviously there's a huge active player base, and you can also see that on social media, YouTube channels, healthy, thriving amid a downturn for other games and sort of mobile gaming at large, in my opinion, over the last 6 months to a year. But yeah, Contest of Champions is doing fine, and Netmarble bought them, and it didn't really change the status quo for either game. In my opinion, MFF got better. So I'm not saying that Netmarble buying Kabam had any impact on MFF 5 years ago, but if it did, it was only a good. It was only a good beneficial type of effect. It wasn't a negative type of effect. But that was back in 2017. Now, since then, things have developed a little bit. So we know that MFR launched middle of last year. We also know that a little bit earlier than that, I believe it was August 2020, so almost 2 years ago. I think it was almost 2 years ago, yeah. Marvel, what was that game called? I can't even remember now. Here we go. Realm of Champions launched, and now they're closing down, right? They're shutting down, and I made a whole video about that and how it's shutting down and how it's sad whenever any mobile game shuts down. But maybe this can explain a little bit more of what's going on, because I do think that the lack of success that Realm of Champions experienced and the lack of success that maybe MFR is experiencing is leading Netmarble to experiment with different things and maybe try to, get people more on board, at least in their North American branch, to sort of, avoid these types of things. Because you never want a mobile game to do poorly, especially one that has this much money pumped into it and is this polished and this, high quality. And again, I'm speculating here on all of this, so this is just my opinion. I have no insider information. I have no idea what's really going on behind the scenes, but I'm just speculating, because if you go and you keep reading here, Kabam appoints Lee Sung-won as CEO. or Sungwon. Yeah. So this is actually about a month ago. So this could be, again, these could be the steps that they're taking to maybe bring some things closer together so that it's easier for them to monitor these different teams rather than having to communicate with one team in LA for Marvel Future Fight and other games, and then communicate with another team in Vancouver for Kabam and Contest of Champions and Realm of Champions and this sort of thing. So actually, Tim Fields had been the CEO since 2017. Tim Fields was appointed the CEO when Netmarble bought Kabam and sort of took it over. Not took it over, but, you know, bought them. But now he's being replaced by this guy, Sungwon Lee, who presumably is from Netmarble over in Korea. And, you know, they've obviously, you know, leading the charge. We feel so thankful, you know, all this good stuff. This is cool and stuff like that. But I think maybe this is signaling sort of their next step for how they want to play things. And I think this is just an extension of that by merging the two studios. So actually, Simon Sim, who I met on multiple occasions at the LA branch of Netmarble, of the US Netmarble headquarters, he's going to become the Kabam COO. All these fancy titles. Congratulations to Simon. That's a great, you know, a great, I don't know if it's a promotion for him, but he'll be taking over and supervising, managing a lot more people now. So that's really cool. As far as what they did over there, just to be clear here, I don't know everything that they did, but the way that I understand it is that the final say happens in Korea at the Netmarble HQ, and the other teams, whether they're running, you know, advertising, whether they're running marketing, like I do know, you know, it makes sense that the marketing for the game that is in English would be made by English-speaking graphic designers and video editors and things like that. So sneak peeks, those types of things, the patch notes being localized into English, that happens in the US branch for Netmarble, for at least for some of their games that I've seen. That much I understand. They're not directly responsible. Well, I don't know if I can say that. I mean, I'm sort of speculating here, but what I'm trying to say is some people messaged me. They sent me this article and they're like, "Hey, Alex, is this why the updates have been bad in Marvel Future Fight lately, or why things are so confusing? Why they just released Echo out of nowhere?" I doubt it. Maybe there's some connection as far as why sneak peeks have been late, because we did see the Echo sneak peek posted like a day later. We also saw one of their Valentine's Day like social media posts was reposted the next day or like 6 hours later. So there has been a bit of confusion and sort of jumbled communication from that side of things. But I don't think that's going to affect the game updates, because although the North American branch, like the US studio branch, has a lot of input on updates, from my understanding is they have to translate and send that information into Korean over to the big bosses in Korea, who then get to make the final say and sort of thing. And so that's why, you know, MFF updates have gotten better and the game has sort of trended in a positive direction, but you can sort of still tell, generally speaking, the same people who started the game are sort of still here and their fingerprints are sort of all over things. It's not like we're going to see a drastic change in the way the game is played, the way the game is designed, character designs, you know, gameplay mechanics. I don't think that's going to be the case. But yeah, here we go. Just a little bit more detail. Kabam made an announcement that the Netmarble US studio will be joining the developer on March 1st, 2022. North American Netmarble operations will now take place under Kabam, with one intention of the merger being to scale Kabam's ability to compete in the market. I don't know what that means. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not like a big marketing guy. I'm not big on that kind of stuff, so I don't really know what that means. If someone can demystify that in the comments, that'd be great. Mobile titles previously brought by the studio to Western audiences include Marvel Future Fight, Marvel Future Revolution, and Lineage 2. So these are all brought by Netmarble, right? But again, these are like, it's not the US branch that are creating these games from scratch, right? And it's a collaboration between the Korean headquarters and the US branch, but you know, it's not solely one or the other. I'm very excited about this unification where we can bring together expertise and resources of two world-class mobile gaming sibling companies, said Kabam CEO Sungwon Lee. After the merger, Kabam will have the scale and enhanced capabilities to excel in game publishing and compete more effectively in today's ever-changing market. I will believe the merger also creates synergies in the long run and expands the businesses or the company's publishing opportunities. We will continue to foster a culture of empowering passionate creators to build incredible game experiences that entertain players around the world. So obviously there's more opportunity for cross-company collaboration, because otherwise, even though they're on the same time zone, it's kind of annoying if you're in Vancouver to then communicate via email or Zoom or whatever to colleagues of yours in Los Angeles, right? It's just kind of annoying. And like, I'm at Kabam and you're at Netmarble, but we're actually still sort of working. We still work for the same company technically. Like the parent company is still exactly the same. So yeah, this should be, if anything, this should be beneficial for both MFF, MFR, and MCOC. Not to mention any future games that come out. I don't expect the next, Marvel updates to have MCOC inspired graphics. Like it's not going to be anything that drastic, but here and there, right? And then they talk about the new COO, Simon Sim, which is the Netmarble US former president, will be Kabam's new COO, overseeing the Montreal and Acadia studios. This is a little bit confusing because they don't mention these studios until later. I don't know, but he will also continue to lead operations in LA, which is the one that I visited for the Infinity or the Endgame thing that they had where I was on the live stream, and I believe that's where Cage and Kim filmed their live streams. And he and Simon will continue to manage Kabam's subsidiary, Kung Fu Factory, which I guess is another gaming company. So yeah, this is cool information. It's a bit businessy, and it's over my head. But yeah, ultimately, this has, I would say, if I had to guess, I would say this has less than 5% impact on why MFF updates have been discombobulated. I would say it probably has a much larger impact, maybe 50% or more, on why the social media side of MFF has been discombobulated. I haven't really kept up with MCOC, but maybe their social media team has been a bit topsy-turvy lately. That probably makes sense to me, with maybe people getting replaced or different people having to do the same job, or sort of having to navigate through each other when they're doing their jobs or whatever, or finding out who your new supervisor is that you submit things to get approval, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's always pretty complicated, and we think it's really simple. Just make the game. But there's actually hundreds, if not thousands, of people working on this in different time zones around the world, and they all have to coordinate. So their jobs are not easy at all, and they have the job of making an awesome game for us at the end of the day. So I cut them a lot of slack. And yeah, sure, the sneak peek is late, or the tweet is reused or copied or whatever. It's fine, man. We'll live. We're not gonna crash and burn on something like that. But yeah, it's interesting to keep track of stuff like this, especially when we can establish a timeline since essentially the inception of the channel. Like, I made a video 5 years ago. I'm still so blown away by that, about them buying Contest of Champions. And at the time, a lot of people speculated, this is the end of MFF. You're going to see all this stuff. It's going to happen. And funny enough, so this is February 2017. Funny enough, we now know, looking like hindsight is 2020. In November or December of 2017, so a little bit at the end of that year, 10 months later, we had the Ultimates fiasco. And the Ultimates fiasco is probably the closest Marvel Future Fight ever came to Contest of Champions, because originally Nova, Sam Alexander, Blue Marvel, and Ant-Man were only obtainable through the Hero Chest, which is essentially the same type of gambling with the crystals that you have in Contest of Champions until they're put in arenas and other rewards. On the flip side, more recently, Contest of Champions has seen selectors, where you open a crystal and it gives you 3 characters out of a pool, and you get to select which one you're getting or upgrading or getting the SIG ability for or whatever, which is more of an MFF type of thing with selectors, right? Which hadn't existed in MFF and MCOC for, since the inception of the game. So it's funny to see a tiny bit of overlap, but again, I mentioned one of the darkest moments in MFF history. I don't think that's ever going to happen again. I don't think we're going to see any other Contest of Champions marketing schemes in MFF, but there's a lot of good things about the game that I would like to see, to be honest. They do a lot of things really well. The brand new Battlegrounds content is really cool. And yeah, so I think this can only be positive, and I'm not going to approach it with any other sense or sort of sensibility, because up until now, things have been good, and it's been 5 years. So, if this merger is bad, then I guess the last 5 years of MFF have been bad. So someone missed giving me the memo on that. So yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. and continue looking for the culprit. Because obviously this Kabam merger with the US and Vancouver studios is not to blame for us getting a Tier 2 Echo and this goofy mid-month update, which is drier than the Arizona desert. I don't know. Yeah. Keep looking, friendlies. We'll find it eventually. Thanks so much for watching. Smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.